Hello everyone, this is ACH AIA Akaya, and we are watching game number 3 of the 1v1 matchup between WhiteRa and Cloud. And as I mentioned, I believe this is a best of 5 series between these two gamers, as far as I can tell, which I'm imagining they just played for funsies. But anyways, cast in this particular game with me right now is going to be 13. 13, what's going on, man?
What's up, Akaya? Back again, man. I just been sitting around bored to death waiting for this freaking game to come out.
Yeah, we are only a few days away as of right now, which this is Saturday. No, Friday, I'm sorry, the 23rd. So
yes.
We are 4 days away from launch as of when we are doing this cast right now. So
you need to get your sleep, man, because you're not going to have any rest once this game comes out.
I'm going to be having a 24-hour LAN party as soon as this game's released at my house.
I'll be there, dude.
It's going to be great. Anyways, what are you expecting to see from WhiteRa? I know he is a sort of hero to you since you are a TOS player yourself.
I do enjoy watching WhiteRa. We actually just found this out today that his nickname is Grandpa TOS because he's like 30 years old, which is pretty not normal for pro players.
Yeah, pro gamers are definitely typically a bit younger, especially if you look in like Korea and stuff. Like a lot of their like really top level players are barely teenagers, it seems like. But anyways, yeah, WhiteRa's been around the scene for a long time. He's a great Protoss player, and right now the series of these games, if this is indeed a best of 5, are 1-1. So WhiteRa's taken one down, Cloud has taken one down, and we are in game 3 right now. So we are going to see this map is played out on Scrap Station, which is another 2-person map, so 1v1. And if you haven't seen this map yet, which you had to have absolutely been ignoring StarCraft 2.
Where the heck have you been if you haven't seen this map yet?
But if you look on the mini map here, you can see that by air, these two starting bases are actually very, very close to each other for it being just a 2-player map. But if you want to go down to the other player's base by ground, you have to go all the way down, out, and around by the Xel'Naga Watchtower, or you have a set of destructible rocks here you can break across the middle, right in the middle here, and that will cut down the amount of time it takes you to get to the opponent's base very, very much. But these rocks have a lot of HP. You can see they've got 2,000 hit points, so just getting a couple Zelts or Marines on it isn't going to take it down anytime soon. So
yeah, I'm curious if we'll see some sort of void ray rush from WhiteRa on this map. It's a pretty common strategy to use just because the air distance between the two bases is pretty minimum.
He does seem to like to utilize Void Rays an awful lot, and I actually saw a game against TLO where he got the Void Ray out, which Void Rays are not nearly as common against Terran players because Marines counter Void Rays so well. But he tried to get a Void Ray out against TLO is who he was playing against, and TLO just absolutely made him pay for it. So I'm curious to see if he goes for a similar strategy. As you mentioned, it is more common on this map. But anyways, getting into the game a little bit more here, looks like Cloud does have his factory going up already, and there is a bunker on the ramp, which of course, this is becoming a more common strategy for Terran players to use that as part of their wall off because of 2 reasons. One, in StarCraft 2, you can lower your supply depots down so you can let your units get out, and actually you just got a nice little
perfect timing, man,
right there. But you still can get units in and out by ground, but you can create a full wall off if you choose to. But then also these bunkers are salvageable, so you can get 100% of your resources back from salvaging that bunker once you've gotten your use out of it. Oh, and we are seeing 2 very fast starports coming out from Cloud right now. He may be trying to get some really quick Banshees out here, or he could possibly even just be trying to get some Vikings out. Vikings can be very effective for worker raids, but of course Banshees with the ability to cloak are very effective as well. But WhiteRa, meanwhile, only has 1 gateway up and running right now. He is getting a 2nd gateway, and actually there are 2 more, so it looks like he's hiding these on the outside, possibly trying to go for a bit of a sneaky 4-gate push by hiding the 2 additional gateways, making it look, if you just see the front and main part of his base, like a little bit more of a standard build. But of course he does have these 2 gateways hidden in the warp gate timing coming up right now, and you can see he does have his proxy pylon out by the Xel'Naga Watchtower, so he is going to be warping in units right on the front line, which will greatly reduce the amount of time it takes him to get into the base of Cloud.
Yeah, I like the placement of that proxy pylon there. It's not too close where it's going to get picked off by Cloud, but it's definitely going to cut down his time getting to Cloud's base.
Yeah, absolutely. This being right next to the Xel'Naga Watchtower, which is in the middle of this massive ground path to get from one side of the map to the other, is basically going to cut his travel time in half.
This is going to be a critical attack for WhiteRa right here, because it looks like Cloud's going to have some Stalkers out, or some Banshees out pretty soon.
Yeah, actually he does
looks like he's going for one Banshee.
Viking, but he is getting the and building another Viking right now. He is getting cloak for his banshees as well, and building one banshee. So there are some stalkers starting to pile up outside of Cloud's base, but Cloud does have one Viking coming in here, and as you can see, he did fly right over those gateways. So he is 100% aware of this 4-gate push. Oh, and there's a lot of SCVs healing this bunker. If Cloud continues to heal this bunker, he may be able to hold off this push without too many casualties at all. It looks like one of WhiteRa's stalkers already going down, and he's trying to get himself a little bit of a window here, trying to pick off that supply depot, but there are more SCVs coming up in the front to heal that. But anyways, it looks like this 4-gate push may have been held off. Another proxy pylon going down for WhiteRa. What do you expect WhiteRa to move into now, 13?
Well, he's going to need to get some detection out pretty quick, because Cloud does have that Banshee building and the cloak researching, like you just mentioned. So if you can't get an observer or some cannons out real quick, he's going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see the first Banshee is moving across. And looking at the cloak research, it is actually very, very close to being done. So he's going to be getting into the base of WhiteRa right as that
looks like an observer is
finishing.
Coming out right at this point. We'll see if it gets it out in time.
Yeah, there is an observer building right now. It's not being chrono boosted, though, it looks like. But he is going to take down those Vikings without any problems at all. But the remaining Banshee is still in play, and it is causing some serious damage right now.
How many kills does that thing have right now?
It's got 6 already, which is a pretty significant number of workers. But that observer coming out does manage to push that one Banshee back. And it looks like WhiteRa is actually moving into Templar tech here, getting his Templar archives down. And I'm guessing he's going to be using some Psystorm here, going against this Terran air army.
I definitely like that. Maybe he's thinking that Cloud's going to bring out a Bioball or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at Cloud's base now, he does have both of his Stargates now pumping out Banshees, so he is going to really commit to this Banshee attack, despite the fact that he is obviously aware at this point that WhiteRa has observers on the map. So those Stalkers are going to be very, very potent against the Banshees, since they are going to be detected without any problems. But it looks like WhiteRa actually throwing up his expansion a lot earlier than what Cloud is. Cloud has not even moved his expansion out yet, and from what I can see, he's not even building his command center yet. But there is a factory floating overhead the edge of WhiteRa's base, trying to get a little bit of vision as to what might be going on over there. There, of course, is one observer spotting that barracks. So if that factory. So if that factory gets any closer, he's going to pick that off with the Stalkers, which are waiting right on the cliff there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not really sure how effective that Templar attack is going to be against what Cloud is doing right now. He does have 2 barracks building at this minute, but if he keeps pumping those Banshees, it's going to be pretty tough for WhiteRa to Psystorm those things.
Yeah, indeed, this is true. He may perhaps even be going for just... Oh, no, he is getting the Psystorm. I was wondering if perhaps he was just making them specifically to make Archons with them, because Archons are actually pretty potent against air units, and with how many shields they have, they can really tank a lot of damage.
He may even be trying to use feedback. Since those Banshees do have energy, feedback is a pretty effective ability to use against them.
Yeah, which would not only deal the damage of the energy loss, but of course them losing the energy would also be another way to negate the fact that he has cloaking research, because obviously with no energy they cannot remain cloaked. So they would be easy pickings for Stalkers at that point.
I would definitely like to see that happen. Feedback is something that's not used enough, I think, in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen more people starting to use it recently, but I definitely agree that it was not something that has been used enough up until now. But you can see Cloud here is actually going after these destructible rocks, going to try to cut down the amount of travel time between his base and his enemy. And there's actually a Raven out on the map too, so he's going to have the ability to do auto turrets and the point defense drone, which point defense drone is another ability that I don't see used very often at all, to be honest. And it is very effective when you're trying to deal with a large number of Stalkers, which is exactly